Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare नाम संगीतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतेरुत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंद गोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 53, text number 1 to 3. Recite text number 3. ताम आनयस्य उन्मथ्य राजन्यापसदान्निधे मत्पराम् अनवद्याङ्गीम् एधशो अग्निशिखामिव तामानयस्य उन्मथ्य राजन्यापसदान्निधे मत्पराम् अन्वद्याङ्गीम् एधसोऽग्निशिखामिव तामानयस्य उन्मथ्य राजन्यापसदान्निधे मत्पराम् अन्वद्याङ्गीम् एधशोऽग्निशिखामिव Word to word meaning. Tam, she, aneshe, I will bring here. Unmathya, shining up. Rajanya, of the royal order. Apasadan, unfit members. Nidhe, in battle. Mat, to me. Param, who is solely dedicated. Anvadya, unquestionable. Angim, the beauty of whose body. Edhasa, from kindling wood. Agni, of fire. Shikham, the flames. Iva, as. Translation and purport by disciples of Divine Grace, S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. So we'll read go in sequence. We'll read text number 1, text number 2, and then we'll read text number 3, translation. Text number 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha Vedabhya Satu Sandesham Nishamya Yadunandana Pragrihya Panina Panim Prahasan Idamabravit Shukdev Goswami said, thus hearing the confidential message of Princess Vaidarbhi, Lord Yadunandan took the Brahmana's hand and smiling spoke to him as follows. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Tathaham api tacchitto nidranchana debhe nishi vedaham rukmina dvesham mamotvaho nivarita. The Supreme Lord said, just as Rukmini's mind is fixed on me, my mind is fixed on her. I can't even sleep at night. I know that Rukmini, out of envy, has forbidden our marriage. Text number 3. Tananisham mathya rajanya pasadanthe matparama anvadyangi edasovagni shikhaniva. She has dedicated herself exclusive to me and her beauty is flawless. I will bring her here after thrashing those worthless kings in battle, just as one brings a blazing flame out of firewood. Purport. When the latent fire is aroused in wood, the fire bursts forth, consuming the wood in the act of manifestation. Similarly, Lord Krishna boldly predicted that Rukmini would come forth to take his hand and that in the process, the wicked kings would be burned by the fire of Krishna's determination. We'll also read the summary of 53 chapter, as today we are starting this chapter. Chapter 53, Krishna kidnaps Rukmini. This chapter describes how Lord Shri Krishna arrived in Kundina, the capital of Vidarbha, and kidnapped Rukmini in the presence of powerful enemies. After Lord Krishna had heard the Brahmana messenger recite Rukmini's letter, the Lord said to him, I am indeed attracted to Rukmini, and I know of her brother Rukmini's opposition to my marrying her. Therefore, I must kidnap her after crushing all the low-class kings, just as one might generate fire from wood by friction. Since the solemnizing of vows between Rukmini and Shishupal was scheduled to occur in only 3 days, Lord Krishna had Daruka ready his chariot at once. Then he immediately set out for Vidarbha, which he reached after one night's travel. King Bhishmaka, trapped by his affection for his son Rukmini, was prepared to give his daughter to Shishupal. Bhishmaka saw to all the necessary preparations. He had the city decorated in various ways and had its main roads and intersections thoroughly cleansed. Damghosha, the king of Chedi, having also done everything necessary to prepare for his son's marriage, arrived in Vidarbha. King Bhishmaka greeted him properly and gave him a place to stay. Many other kings such as Jarasanda's Shalva and Dattavakra also came to witness the occasion. These enemies of Krishna had conspired to kidnap the bride if Krishna came. They planned to fight him together and thus guarantee Shishupal his bride. Hearing of these plans, Lord Baldev gathered his entire army and quickly went to Kundinapur. On the night before the wedding, Rukmini, about to retire, had still not seen either the Brahmana or Krishna arrive. In anxiety, she cursed her bad fortune, but just then she felt her left side twitch, a good omen. Indeed, the Brahmana shortly appeared and related to her what Krishna had said, including his firm promise to kidnap her. When King Bhishmaka heard that Krishna and Balram had arrived, he went out to greet them to the accompaniment of triumphant music. He worshipped the lords with various gifts and then designated residences for them. Thus the king showed due respect to the lords as he did to each of his numerous royal guests. The people of Vidarbha, seeing Lord Krishna, remarked to one another that he alone would be suitable husband for Rukmini. They prayed that on the strength of whatever pious spirit they had, Krishna might win Rukmini's hand. When the time came for Srimati Rukmini Devi to visit temple of Sri Ambika, she proceeded there surrounded by many guards. After going down to the deity, Rukmini prayed to be allowed to have Sri Krishna as her husband. Then she took the hand of a girlfriend and left the Ambika temple. Seeing her inexpressible beauty, the great heroes present dropped their weapons and fell to ground unconscious. Rukmini walked with deliberate steps until she noticed Krishna. Then, as everyone looked on, Shri Krishna took Rukmini onto his chariot. Like a lion claiming his rightful share from the band of jackals, he drove back all the opposing kings and slowly made his exit, followed by his associates. Jarasandha and other kings, unable to bear their defeat and dishonor, loudly condemned themselves, declaring that this defamation was like a petty animal stealing away what rightfully belonged to the lion. Hare Krishna. Giant prayers. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavansya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanutam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhantam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nithinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prasarane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vasattadeshidarane Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauradashe Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopesha Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Nidachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balbhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpataru Visha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Grim Yat Kripatam Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Parmananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So humbly and the lotus feet of all the devotees assemble and seek blessings, so that on this beautiful section of Srimad Bhagavatam, in this holy month of Kartik, we may be able to speak something for glorification of the Lord, for purification of our heart, as a service to our devotees and for benefit of everyone. Srila Prabhupada, in the purport to first canto, second chapter, text number 17, Shanvatam Swagatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hedantasto Yavadrani Punoti Suhasadam. The verse which explains that how Krishna, who is benefactor of his devotees, cleanses the heart of those who are very eager to hear about his message. Srila Prabhupada in the purport to this beautiful verse writes something very interesting. So, a middle paragraph of this purport I am reading. Prabhupada says, the Lord is reciprocally respondent to his devotees. When he sees that a devotee is completely sincere in getting admittance to the transcendental service of the Lord and has thus become eager to hear about him, the Lord acts from within the devotee in such a way that the devotee may easily go back to him. The Lord is more anxious to take us back to him, into his kingdom, than we can desire. Then Prabhupada says, most of us do not desire at all to go back to Godhead. Only a very few men want to go back to Godhead. But anyone who desires to go back to Godhead, Shri Krishna helps in all respect. So Srila Prabhupada, especially we'll see this whole purport itself will become a discussion of understanding these particular verses which are coming in today. Especially we see here that Srila Prabhupada says that Lord is more anxious to take us back to his kingdom than we can desire. So Krishna is always hankering to reciprocate with his devotees. He wants to reciprocate. He is Rasaraj. He wants to always reciprocate. He wants to get the rasa from the devotee and reciprocate. And in that way he enjoys. But the Lord, he is eagerly waiting for us to take a step. Unless we take a step, he is anxious. He's just anxious that we take a little step and then he can reciprocate. We take one step, he can take 100 steps. He is always ready to take us back to Godhead. He is ready to give us Krishna Prem. He is very eager. The only question which remains is, are we interested to go back to Godhead? Are we interested in love of God, Krishna Prem? The only question is, why do I perform devotional service? We said we do every day. What is the reason? Am I interested in this thing? If yes, Krishna will give. Do I want him only, or we want so many other things? These are the questions only to be asked. Because from Lord's side, he is very eager. We'll try to understand this. Here in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, in this holy month of Kartik, such a beautiful meditation to see the intense, determined Ananya Bhakti of the eternal consort of Lord Rukmani and the amazing, intense reciprocation of the Supreme Lord. This is a meditation for the month of Kartik constantly, whether it's Damodar Leela or Rukmani Haran Leela. All these pastimes are extraordinary. So first we see in this pastime, in the previous few verses as we went through, we see exclusive devotion of Mother Rukmani, Ananya Bhakti, which Krishna very much glorifies. Ananya, because she don't want anything else. Nothing, no compromise. It's not that, oh, if I can't get Krishna's mercy, so let me go to Maya, what can I do? Because Krishna was not merciful, so I have to go to Maya. Or in Rukmani's words, she was not thinking, fine, if Krishna doesn't come, okay, Shishupal will take me, it's okay. Somewhere I'll go, it's okay. What can I do? Krishna didn't come, so what could I have done? That's not the determination. Rukmani's determination is very precise in the previous verses. That Krishna, if somehow that you couldn't come, if your mercy is not coming upon me, it is not because of your mercy is lacking. It is something which is lacking in me. So let me then perform many lifetimes of tapasyas and austerities, and I will surely leave my body right away. and then I'll keep taking birth and keep performing austerities till the time I can get you. But she is not going to compromise with anything else, nothing less than Krishna. So very important that if Krishna's mercy doesn't come, same determination we have to learn from Rukmini, that if Krishna's mercy doesn't come, I will not look elsewhere. That is devotee. A devotee is fully determined. And that's what we learn from Rukmini. He is, actually Krishna's mercy is always there. Krishna is very determined to take his devotee. And this we learn from today's verses of Krishna's response. Right? And we'll see what these verses say. Actually, Krishna is very eager and always eager to reciprocate. He's reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, 4th chapter, explains about the confidential reasons of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. There is a description of the gopis' love for Krishna. And there it is explained that how Krishna, in between he disappeared, which also happened in Sharad Purnima, beautiful Leela. Krishna disappeared. And these gopis, when Krishna disappeared, these gopis were in great love of remembering Krishna. And they were performing so many pastimes of Krishna. And Krishna later on, when he comes back, and Krishna tells them, actually, I had not disappeared. I was hiding behind to see what you do when I disappear. So Krishna is always watching. That means when Krishna's mercy, we pray to Krishna very sincerely and Krishna's mercy is not coming. It's not that Krishna's mercy is not coming. Krishna is watching. Krishna is looking what we do now. Krishna is just waiting and want to see what is our devotion. Do we give up as soon as Krishna's mercy is not coming? Oh, I am failing again and again. Do we give up? Or we continue? So Krishna wants to see this consistency. That's why Krishna immediately don't reciprocate with his devotees to test them. And devotee is always knowing very well that Krishna is watching me. Krishna is watching all my devotion service, all my efforts, all my struggles. And he is very kind to me, but he is not giving his mercy immediately, directly. He is giving mercy in other ways, because he wants to intensify. And that's what Krishna ultimately told to the gopis also, that actually I disappeared, to intensify your love for me. Right? But I was watching all throughout. It's not that I disappeared. So Krishna never disappears. Similarly, here we find that after Krishna hears this beautiful message from the Brahmana, it is said that thus hearing the confidential message of Princess Vaidarbhi, Lord Yadunandan took Brahmana's hand and spoke smilingly. So the Acharya explains about this, that actually he took the hand of Brahmana, Pradgraha Panina Panim, explaining that, actually Jiva Goswami says that he took Brahmana's hand in a remarkable way with the symptom of prema, such as hair standing on end. So Krishna was in complete ecstasy. And he felt so happy with this Brahmana. And further Jiva Goswami says that he took Brahmana's hand to establish friendship and to show affection. Like that, it's halfway. And so nice, thank you. And he smiled, with slight embarrassment and with joy. And the word used here is Yadu Rangana. With the joy, he smiled, thinking that how he will kidnap Rukmini very soon, and it will bring such a great pleasure to all the Yadu dynasty. He will bring back. So that's why the word used in this verse is Yadu Nandana. Everyone I will make happy. So thinking like that, he smiled. But simultaneously, Krishna's heart was actually crying. And what was that Krishna spoke in the next verse? He was like literally in great love for Rukmini. He started speaking the next verse. And he says, Tataham, Tatha Aham, means in the same way. So Krishna immediately, the first line, first word itself, Krishna establishes that okay, Rukmini is very eager for me, to get married. Tatha Aham. In the same way, I am also very eager. But first he says Tataham, and in Tataham, Api Tat Chittaha. Just as Rukmini's mind is fixed upon me always, my mind is also always fixed upon me. My chitta is always thinking of Rukmini. But then he says, Krishna goes on to say, but actually my love for Rukmini is more. There is a difference. And that he established in the next line. Acharyas give this understanding. He says, Nidram chana lebhe nishi. Means nishi means in the night. In the night, my mind is so much fixed on Rukmini and so much attached to Rukmini that I am not able to sleep in the night. Nidram chana lebhe nishi. रात में सो नहीं पा रहा हूँ. And Acharyas explain that Krishna want to explain that my situation is worse than Rukmini because I am not even able to sleep in the night. Maybe Rukmini is sleeping. But for me, my love for Rukmini is higher. Higher than Rukmini's love for me. I am not even able to sleep. And then he says, Vedaham. And मुझे पता है. I know all what you have spoken. And Krishna knows. Krishna is all-pervading Supreme Personality of God, and he knows every single thing a devotee undergoes. It's a very important point that sometimes when we render services and we see that मैंने इतना कुछ किया, and a devotee don't want to take credit also. A genuine, sincere devotee, he don't want credit. And he does the service in the background, the service, everything goes well, and no credit comes to him, and he's happy that no credit came to him. Because he don't want credit. He is happy that, okay, seva hua, everyone is happy, that's it. No one is glorifying me, very nice. But still in his heart there is something that, seva hua ki nahi hua? Was it seen or not? There is something in the heart that at least I should get some words of encouragement or some words of acceptance. May not be glorification, appreciation or something like that, but acceptance that, okay, I was accepted. And when we understand this, at least, Vedaham, Krishna is saying that I know. We at least understand that Krishna is watching everything. What is our attitude? What is going on? Krishna knows. So then that gives a great solace to devotee. So we should remember this. And Krishna says, Vedaham, mujhe pata hai what Rukmini is undergoing. And what also, Vedaham Rukmina Dvesham Mama Dvaho Nivarana. I know about Rukmi. Rukmi is envy towards me. And how this Rukmi is out of envy is not allowing our marriage. So I know all this. I know all this, how she is eager, I am eager, but that somehow the other Rukmi is not allowing. And then Krishna says, expressing his love, expressing his love. He says that Tam, today's verse, Tam Anaishya Unmadhya. With great enthusiasm, Krishna very boldly says this to the Brahmana, giving him complete confidence that I will, go and bring Rukmini, and then he gives an analogy that Tam Anisha Unmadhya Rajya Upasad Nidhe. Because she, Rukmini, is completely, says, Anvadya Angin. She is completely, the translation says that she is dedicated herself exclusive to me, and her beauty is flawless. So, point is, her devotion is completely flawless. Like Rukmini mentioned that maybe my devotion not complete. Krishna assured, no, it's not like that. Just two verses Krishna is speaking, but he answers. J. Goswami says that in these two verses Krishna has given a elaborate answer to all her prayers actually. So Krishna says that her devotion is completely flawless. She has actual devotion for me, and hence I am going to go. And I will bring her here after thrashing those worthless king in battle. Just as one brings a blazing flame out of firewood. So in a firewood, the flame is inside, the fire is inside. It is not visible, it is covered by the firewood. But by some impetus, that fire can be brought out. And when that fire comes out, it consumes the entire firewood. That's the analogy. Using this analogy, Krishna is saying that similarly, Rukmini is like that fire. Her beauty and her complete love for me is like that fire. And currently, that fire of Rukmini is covered by all his, what kings? Apasadan Rajya, that is worthless kings. So all these worthless kings, like Rukmi and all these family members, they have covered him. But then, because of her complete devotion, right, this, which will burn like fire, I will be just an impetus. I will go as an impetus there, and because of her devotion, all these kings will be burned to ashes, which is like covering currently. Right? So I will just go as an impetus. This is the meaning Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains about this analogy. So in this way, understanding this verse, we can understand that how Krishna is so very eager. Rukmini's love letter is so very intense, showing her expressive devotion. And Krishna is expressing his intensity. So this intense love for Krishna, for his devotee, and how he reciprocates with the love is the meditation of this Kartik. And this Kartik, this episode is arranged. We'll also little bit meditate on the pastime which we daily meditate on in this month of Kartik, and try to see this very aspect of Krishna's intense loving reciprocation with his devotees. Right? That is reciprocation between Damodar and Yashoda. This is a pastime which we daily meditate upon. So we see, and we'll focus on certain aspect on this pastime. So we see that how Ekada on this particular day of Deepavali, a day before that time Indra Yajna, not Govardhan Puja, Yashoda Mai sent all her maid servants, Graha Dasishu. She engaged everyone in the different household duties because preparation for the Indra Yajna was going on full-fledged. So on this day, she started herself, Swamanthane. She took herself the task of churning the curd, dadi, curd, and churn and to make first-class butter for Krishna, so that Krishna don't go and steal butter further. So because she was thinking that maybe others are not making good butter, so I will personally churn the butter in such a way that no more Krishna should go to steal. And her in this meditation, she got up very early on this day while Krishna was still asleep, and she started to churn. And as she was churning, she was singing the beautiful songs on the childhood pastimes of Krishna, just like how he killed Putana, how he delivered Trinavata, and in that way so many wonderful pastimes. So in that way, while she was churning and singing these wonderful pastimes, out of motherly affection, the milk from her body was coming out. And Krishna, hearing that affectionate Sankirtan, which was Sankirtan. So Sankirtan means there's Mridan Kartal. Acharya has explained that how her bangles were like Kartal, and the sound of the clay pot with the mathani and the curd sounded like mridanga. Just like mridanga is made up of clay, so like that. So there's mridanga, kartal, and her singing, and the dancing is explained on the earrings. Earrings were dancing, and Sankirtan there's dancing, singing. Right? So all these things were happening simultaneously. Right? And her bangles were dancing also. So everything, every full Sankirtan performance was going on, and pure affection of Mother Yashoda in the form of the milk was also coming out. And with this, Krishna got awakened. And Krishna awoke, and immediately he was hungry. Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga Bhagwan ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So Krishna got awakened immediately, seeing such a loving affection, affectionate Sankirtan happening. So a lesson for us, when the affectionate Sankirtan happen, then Krishna in our heart manifests, and he is fully active to help us. And then after that, Krishna immediately went, and there's so many details in this beautiful pastime. She got hold of the sari of Mother Yashoda, and Yashoda was not, she was absorbed. And Krishna came in front and caught hold of the mathani. And then Mother Yashoda was churning, closing her eyes, and she saw that churning has stopped. She opened her eyes and saw that Krishna is holding the mathani. And then immediately Krishna looked at Yashoda and said, I am hungry. So Krishna is hungry. And Mother Yashoda took Krishna on her lap and started feeding milk, saying that this is more important service. I should directly feed Krishna. And Krishna also said that I am directly here. Feed me first. So Yashoda Mai started feeding Krishna. And as Krishna was being fed by Mother Yashoda, the milk, I heard in a lecture that this milk which was boiling over was a very special milk. Mother Yashoda had personally worked very hard to make this milk ready. This milk I heard was that Nand Maharaj had 9 lakh cows, out of which 1,000 cows, very special cows are selected. They are given a special kind of grass, very, very special nutritious grass, by which they produce very special milk. And this milk of 1,000 cows is fed to 100 cows. And that means roughly one cow drink the milk of 10 cows, something like that. and then that milk is further processed by the cows with their affection, and then they produce milk, and that is fed to 10 cows. Again, 1:10 ratio, and then it's further processed, and that is fed to one particular cow, and that milk is the milk which Mother Yashoda was. It's called as Padma Gandha milk, which Mother Yashoda was boiling for making some special preparation. So very, very intense, special milk. And that's why Mother Yashoda was concerned that this milk should be offered to Krishna. But this milk being also a chit, in a special word, everyone is conscious, being very completely conscious of all the pastimes of Krishna. This milk started to feel that if Yashoda Mai is feeding her milk, then my life is useless. And she thought of that what's use of my life. And this pastime of Krishna drinking milk of Yashoda and Yashoda feeding milk to Krishna will go on for eternity. Because in general in this world, the mothers have limited capacity to feed milk to a child, right? Because milk is proportional to affection. In the modern time, affection is very less, so that's why all artificial things have come. Right? And also child's capacity is also limited. Whereas in this pastime, neither Mother Yashoda has a limitation of her affection, neither Krishna has any limitation of accepting the affection of Mother Yashoda. And the milk was pure love. So that's why this pastime will go on for eternity. And that's why this milk felt that my life is completely useless. Let me boil over and jump into the fire and commit suicide. So thinking like this milk started to jump over, boil over, and Mother Yashoda being given the transcendental intelligence by Sri Krishna himself, she left Krishna aside and went to take care of this milk. Srila Prabhupada in the purport explained that when there are two parallel services, because both services were important, feeding Krishna is important, taking care of that milk, which is also for Krishna service important. How to take decision in such a case? Srila Prabhupada in the purport writes that Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mam Apyantita. Srila Prabhupada explained that Krishna gives intelligence to someone who is Priti Purvak and Satatam, engaged in Krishna consciousness. For us, if we have such a dilemma, we don't know, because we may not be Satatam, Priti Purvakam, Bhajatam, these things may not be there with us. And that's why Krishna Dadami Yogam Tam may not happen. So that's why for us we should take guidance of our superiors and what to prioritize, how to do it. But as we practice Krishna consciousness, Krishna helps to take decision. So Yashoda Mai was inspired by Krishna only, and hence she did what Krishna inspired. In that way she was perfectly alright to please Krishna. But Krishna here becomes transcendently angry. So Krishna becomes, we saw Krishna was sleeping, then we saw Krishna becoming angry, hungry, and now we are seeing Krishna becoming angry. Right? Krishna becomes angry, and then he breaks the pot, and then he goes to another place and starts stealing butter, taking help of the grinding mortar. And so Krishna starts to steal. Okay, this fourth point. Okay, Krishna is stealing now. And then Krishna steals butter and starts to feed the monkeys, saying that, thank you, you all helped me so much in my previous incarnation. So as a gratitude, Krishna was feeding these monkeys. And then after this whole beautiful Leela is going on, Yashoda Mai comes back and she understands that this whole thing is done by Krishna. She took a stick, she goes behind Krishna, and now Krishna has become Yashoda 𝐉𝐎𝐈𝐍 Radhava Manam. Krishna becomes fearful, Krishna jumps from Mukhala and starts to run. So now Krishna is becoming fearful, he is running out of fear. And then we find Krishna is running, and Yashoda Mai is running behind with more eagerness, right? And she catches from behind Krishna, right? So Krishna who cannot be caught by anyone is caught, right? And then Krishna is seeing Mother Yashoda's stick is crying, And then finally, I'm not going to details because of lack of time. And finally, Krishna is, who cannot be bound, because the Acharyas gave explanation that Krishna is unlimited and everything in this creation exists inside Krishna. So how can anything bind Krishna? Yashoda Mai herself saw entire universe inside Krishna. So Krishna is unlimited. How can anything bind Krishna? Because everything is already inside him. How can anything you can put outside Krishna? There's nothing outside. To bind something, it should be outside, but there's nothing outside. So then, how you bind such a person? So it's an impossibility. Still he gets bind. So the question is raised by the Acharyas, which is that discussion, that how is it that Krishna, who is Atma Ram, who is self-satisfied, he becomes hungry. Krishna, who is beyond modes of material nature, he is becoming angry. Right? Anger is mode of ignorance. Krishna, who is Lakshmi Pati, he is stealing. Right? He doesn't have any dearth of anything. He steals. Krishna, who is feared by Yamaraj. Yamaraj says in 6th canto that Yamdutas, anywhere you find Krishna devotees also, don't go. Because Krishna, who is the Gada, who is the holder of Gada, will beat you with its Gada. So there's anything. So Krishna is feared by even Yamaraj, the fear personified. He is fearful of Mother Yashoda. How do we understand? Krishna was freed from all fear, lamentation, anything. He is crying tears. And Krishna, who is Swarat, who is unlimited, who is Ananda, he is bound. So how is it? Does it? The question is raised is this: that does these activities of Krishna limit his godhood? Right? So how is it? What is this? Why is this? Is a question. And Srila Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, both of them has analyzed this very nicely and given a very logical answer that is this limits God? Is this that God is no more supreme because he is exhibiting these natures? So sometimes God shows his supremacy, sometimes is not supreme. Or is this pastime also shows something about supremacy of Lord? So the question is, the answer is that yes, that although Krishna has unlimited Shakti and unlimited qualities, he has so many potencies, but the emperor of all the quality of Krishna is his Kripa Shakti. Kripa. That's why when Yashoda Mai is trying to bind Krishna and it is falling 2 fingers too short, Yashoda Mai is working so hard and then working so hard, she is not going to give up. Her consistent, sincere, full-fledged effort, serious endeavor, impresses Krishna. And then the verse says that Drishtava Parishram Krishna Kabara Srija. What is that? Sunya Gatra Swamatu Sunya Gatra. So basically he saw that Swamatu, my mother's whole body is filled with sweat. Sunya Gatra. It's like she is perspiring heavily. And then final line, Kripya Asit Swabandhane. So Krishna, Kripya Asit, Vishwanath Thakur says that Kripya Asit means the Kripa Shakti came finally. And she ruled over. She is the king, emperor of all other Shaktis. And when she comes, all other Shaktis goes behind. So Krishna was not binding because of his Iksha Shakti. He was not wanting to be bound. But his Iksha Shakti, his supremacy, all that goes behind when his Kripa Shakti comes. So Kripya Asit. And then Kripya Asit Swabandhana. Then he got bound. So this Kripa Shakti is very powerful. That's the point number 1. And so his quality of reciprocating with the love of devotees as per the pure devotee's desire is what this pastime shows. He is not, although he is not bound to be hungry or to steal or to do anything, but because of his Ye Yathamam Prabhadyante, the Acharya's explanation that Ye Yathamam Prabhadyante, that Krishna has to reciprocate with how the devotee wants. So Mother Yashoda wants, in simple words, Mother Yashoda is expressing her Vatsalya and she wants to exhibit her Vatsalya Bhav in complete. And because she has a pure Vatsalya Bhav, now Krishna's duty is to reciprocate, Ye Yathamam Prapadyante, to reciprocate with Mother Yashoda's Vatsalya. And to do that, so that is Krishna's supremacy. Krishna is complete Supreme Lord. And to do that, to exhibit that, okay, this is what I do. I reciprocate exactly what my devotee wants. Krishna acts exactly like a child. And not that he does a drama, because the drama will never give a pleasure to Mother Yashoda, neither he can relish. As a Rasaraj, he is always relishing so many mellows. So he can't relish. So he is not doing drama. But rather, because his mother wants him to be like a son, so he becomes like a son. And that's why to fully reciprocate with Mother Yashoda's Vatsalya, he has to become fearful. If Yashoda Mai comes with a stick and he shows his Vishrup form, Kala, what is that? The Bhishmam Chatrodam cha sab log unke muh mein ja rahe hain. That disturb the rasas, rasa of Yashoda. So that's why Krishna is reciprocating fully. So Krishna's godhood doesn't go. And this same Kripa Shakti of Krishna actually in Vrindavan transforms into another quality of Krishna, which is called as Bhakta Vashyata. That Acharya gave an elaborate discussion on that. That where the love of the devotee is so intense that he is controlled by that love. Right? That doesn't mean that he loses his godhood. Again, he is still the Supreme Lord. But to reciprocate with the intense love of his devotee, because the devotee wants to control. So Krishna wants to be controlled. Right? And we hear about these 2 finger, 2 short. Just last point. I was hearing in a lecture by His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj. He was explaining that what are the 2 fingers? All of us know Krishna's mercy and our endeavor. As far as Krishna's mercy is concerned, we are hearing in this section also. And we discussed today that how Krishna's mercy, and Prabhupada also spoke that Krishna is more eager. As far as Krishna's mercy is concerned, it is profusely available. Krishna is more eager than us. We are not so eager to go back to Godhead. Krishna is super eager. Krishna is more eager to be controlled by him, by us. Krishna is more eager to give Shuddha Bhakti. Right? So there's no doubt about it. Krishna is very eager. So what is only lacking is our endeavor. And what is that endeavor? Especially in regard to Braja Bhakti. So Maharaj was explaining that endeavor is to give our pure love. And how we give that pure love, we don't have it. So only if we receive in Guru Parampara that pure love, that we can give. And how do we receive that pure love? By hearing and understanding and following the instructions in Guru Parampara. And what is that? And what is that? What we need to do that? And Srila Prabhupada in Chaitanya Charitamrita, a verse which is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to Sanatana Goswami, explaining that the devotional service is very difficult to attain for 2 reasons. Because first, unless one is attached to Krishna, he cannot attain. And even if he rendered devotional service for a long time, second, Krishna does not easily deliver perfection in devotional service. And Srila Prabhupada explains that Krishna readily grants liberation but does not readily grants perfection in devotional service. That means Krishna wants to see, this is the point. Krishna wants to see actually that devotee is actually sincere and serious and he does not have any ulterior motives. If this is the case, devotional service can very easily be successful. So Maharaj is telling that our endeavor is this: to be sincere, to be serious, and to be without any ulterior motives. This is our endeavor in performing all aspects of devotional service. To check, am I sincere? Sincere means when we are putting our attempts, am I sincere in putting our attempts? Am I serious? That means, am I practically determined? There is a lot of determination. And without any ulterior motives means, what do I want from it? Do I have any other desire except for Krishna? So when we have these 3 things, this is our endeavor. Then Prabhupada is saying, actually, if this is the case, devotion service can very easily be successful. Otherwise, it is very difficult to obtain from Supreme Personality Godhead. Thank you very much. So let us meditate on this and put our endeavor very, very sincerely, seriously, and without any ulterior motives. And Krishna is very eager to give his mercy. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Damodar Mahas ki jai. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.